giving nothing but truth.
Now, QD3, I know you had a very important relationship with Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think, there's a lot of people that didn't understand the genius that he was and thought of him as dumb in a lot of ways or maybe ignorant, a little too violent? Why do you think that that's the case?
I would say that Tupac was probably the smartest artist that I've met in terms of the full range, in terms of politics, personal relationships, and, scholastically, what have you, just reading. But I also feel like to some degree he dumbed down to sort of let his audience know in some ways that he was relatable. And not to say that his audience was dumb, but he was putting on a facade to relate to them in a better way, you know what I mean, with the whole death row persona and all that.
Yeah.
And then he was probably 3 to 4 months away from turning all that around. And it's sort of what KRS did with his first album. He had the Uzis on the cover, and then the very next album he became the teacher. So Pac was about to do that, turn around and say, okay, now that I've got the demographic that needs the help the most, I'm gonna turn around and teach them certain things.
Yeah.
And I think that unfortunately it was just cut short, but he had so much in the pipeline that people don't know about. I mean, he was so well read. He would read each book 2-3 times in a row and ask a bunch of people questions about the book, so he really learned it, So I think he was ready to unleash a lot of that in his political thoughts and power and all that kind of stuff, and just unfortunately got cut short, And to some degree, fame is also a drug. So maybe he got caught up in that a little bit, but I think he was probably literally 4 to 5 months away from a turnaround and becoming a man and becoming the leader that he was. And he was born into the Black Panthers and sort of raised to be the next leader.
Yeah.
So he was ready for it, and he knew.
Where do you think he lost his way on that? Or do you think he lost his way at all?
Connected with the culture, I think.
Yeah.
He knows his sister and my daughter, he died in her arms in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
She was engaged to him. And he used to write her letters like Lord Byron.
Incredible.
I remember reading a one poem of his, and in fact I recited it on Rose That Came From Concrete, Starry Eyes, about Vincent van Gogh. But Jada Pinkett was his first girlfriend in Baltimore. AAA student, but it's not hip to be smart, and that's got to go. That's just a joke.
We gotta make a change. It's time for us as a people to start making some changes. Let's change the way we eat, let's change the way we live, and let's change the way we treat each other. You see, the old way wasn't working, so it's on us to do what we gotta do to survive.
There's two disconnects though, because I think that what all of them have been talking about is, despite the fact that industries has tried to make smart less sexy, we as a community have undermined what intellectualism really is. And so whether we're talking about Pac, or whether we're talking about Wayne, or whether we're talking about cats on the block who are banging but who are more organized in the NAACP, or we're talking about those that are selling on the block but have better business acumen than those who have graduated from Wharton.
Yeah.
We're not really feeding our young people what they really have. And because it looks different, we're demeaning what it is. So these kids have all these gifts already, and we're demeaning and demonizing them, as opposed to saying, look, let's just flip this and do it a different way.
Right.
And so the first part about making smart sexy is that school is a vehicle to get you some keys, but the intellect you already got. And my concern is that we keep making them feel like they got to walk through the school door to have it, when they already have it. They were born with it, they've been nurturing it, they've been saving it, they've been fighting for it. Now we gotta say, look, here's a vehicle that can polish it, right? That can buff it, that can lift it up, and that can prepare it for the next level, to do it in a way you don't have to keep looking over your back, or do it in a way where you can have it and keep it and nobody can come and take it away from you.
You know what makes me unhappy? That when brothers make babies and leave a young mother to be a mess. And since we all came from a woman, got our name from a woman, and I came from a woman, I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women, do we hate our women? I think it's time to kill for our women, time to heal our women, be real to our women. And if we don't, we'll have a race of babies that will hate the ladies that make the babies. And since a man can't make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. So will the real men get up? I know you're fed up, ladies, but keep your head.
Tupac was getting close to 30 when he was
killed, wasn't
He was 20, 26, 25.
25.
I met him, I was coming out of a religious bookstore in New York, and he stopped his car, and he came up to me and said, I really want to talk to you. And I gave him a copy of my book, which was a religious book, and told him, gave him all my numbers. I said, when you get back to Atlanta, any time of the day or night, call me. Come on by. But he was on his way to Vegas.
Wow.
Never got back.
Stay tuned, this is the game of life, and these are the cards I've been dealt. Give you the real deal, live footage, so you can feel for yourself. It's uncut and raw, ghetto reporter since before the new world was in order. Embedded in places you dreaded and never thought of. The corners, the streets, and projects, the one-bedroom apartments, the hood. I'm the voice for all of y'all misunderstood. It's because I'm hip-hop, baby, I was born from the struggle. Hustle and hover above the earth, observe the concrete jungle, and expose all lies. From the block, it's all lies. Revolution of the mind. It will be. It will be. Giving nothing but truth.